My son Christian is 26, and if I describe him to you, you might think that it would be very difficult for him to have an ordinary independent life. He's somebody who needs help with every aspect of his daily life. So the challenges are huge. When Christian was young, he wasn't happy. The idea that people had of him, for instance, when he was at school, was different from the idea I had of him at home. People said that he cried a lot. He used to hurt himself. Very classic things that a lot of young disabled children experience. So he was giving very strong messages that something in his life was wrong. And the way that we helped him, supported him and dealt with it was just by getting a group of people together to get to know Christian. We helped him look at what he could do, what he liked, what other people of his age were doing, what opportunities were out there. That's where our personalisation began. A path means planning alternative tomorrows with hope. So the whole idea of it's in its title, and it's a person-centred planning tool which just gives you very, very clear guidelines for a conversation. During the path planning, people were able to see that when Christian was away from home, he wasn't as happy and well as when he was at home. So people in Christian's circle were able to say, well, maybe you would prefer to live in your own home with your own rules and regulations, your own timetable. Christian's circle of support were very helpful during the many assessment processes that he's been through. They were able to tell people who were assessing Christian who didn't know him a lot about Christian. So it was in-depth knowledge. It was also very supportive for me because it's a difficult process. It can be very emotional. It can be quite onerous. And so having people to talk it through with afterwards and before was very helpful. At 26, Christian now lives in his own home. He has a group of people who he pays to support him. He still has a lot of contact with his friends and family. He is busy, he's healthy, and he has a life which I would challenge anyone to say doesn't look very much different from other 26-year-olds. It works for us by employing our own staff, by having some support from a human resources company who we can check out employment law with, who support us with payroll. He does have his own personal budget made up of some direct payments, and it needs coordination. So I help Christian to manage his team and to regularly assess where he's at in his life. When Christian had moved into his own house, had got his team fairly well established and was having quite an enjoyable life, we realised that actually something was missing. We all felt that Christian wanted more from life. So we had another meeting with Christian Circle and used Path to think about meaningful daytime opportunities. And we all realised that Christian actually needed to work. And using the skills that he had and the experiences he had, he's got unique experiences as a young disabled man, we supported him to seek work.
Christian works now as a freelance disability advisor and consultant. He utilises his own personal direct experience of living with a profound and multiple learning disability to advise, train and educate others. People sometimes find it a little bit strange when you explain to them that Christian does this in terms of employment by the fact that he's non-verbal. So I'm very much there to support him in communicating that to a wider audience, and it's imperative that he's there and that his presence is first and foremost throughout that process.
Personalisation has been the most important thing for Christian and his family, because until we began to understand that personalisation was a possibility, that Christian could lead an individual lifestyle, he was struggling. And I believe that living where he lives with people who understand him and who look out for changes and listen to him has actually improved his health to a huge degree. And personalisation has just helped me realise we all can live ordinary lives as long as we are supported to do it, and it's totally achievable even if you have very complex needs. Like all the most beautiful things in life, it's very simple. It is just about living your life.